Oh boy, it's time to dust off those glow sticks, your favorite pair of baggy pants, and those really awkward dance moves. Yeah, those. Hey, no, stop it. Yeah, stop. Okay. All right, here we go. It's time for Sandstorm in Thumbstyle. So, extreme nostalgia trip aside, I find Sandstorm to be a really interesting extreme because it seems to be dichotomizing the entire player base. On one hand of the player base, you have people who kinda struggle with syncopated rhythms and really love it when songs are, quote, on beat. These folks typically love Sandstorm because it's incredibly straight rhythm and incredibly repetitive. On the other hand, there's a group of players who don't mind syncopated rhythms and can grasp the concept, but they really don't have the chops to play this monstrosity of an endurance exercise in 16th notes. And I guess you could make a case for a very small third group of players who might say something like, Sandstorm is basically the most easiest extreme in the game, and there's nothing else to it, and I can think of at least 5 more hard songs that should be extremes, and this should be, you know what? This is a Vertigo music tutorial, where I am here to teach the majority, and that is precisely what I'm about to do. So I'm going to let the intro stage play through because it's very straightforward and I don't think gives many players trouble. With the exception of this extended run of 16th notes, don't worry, we'll get to that in a bit. But I am going to stop here at the beginning of stage 2 because this begins the main synth line and rhythmic motif for really the entirety of the rest of the song. The other thing that's kind of nice about this chart is that the thumb placements are incredibly logical and feel very natural. There's nothing awkward about left, right, left, or right, left, right the entire way through. So with that in mind, there's really only one thing to teach about Sandstorm, and that's how do you build up a player's skill level in playing really consistent 16th notes at tempo for really long periods of time. So that, my Beatstar friends, is exactly what we're going to do. Now before we jump into it, I'm going to level up a little bit of your music theory knowledge and introduce you to some terminology you may not know so that we can, quite literally, read off the same sheet of music together. Well, wait, but theory? That's no fun. I know. Hang with me, it's good for you. I'll be quick. In music, when we write it down so that players can play the music, we need a way to subdivide time to tell players when they should play their notes. This is done with what's called a time signature, and you may have noticed in all the transcriptions of my Beatstar videos, I designate what the time signature of the song is. Now, the majority of songs in Beatstar and pop and rock in general are in what's called 4/4 time, which basically means for every measure in the song, there are 4 beats. In practice, this sounds like 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And every time the count starts over is a new measure in the song, starting from measure number 1 all the way to when the song ends. Each of those beats represents a quarter note, meaning there are 4 of them in an entire measure. Each individual beat is 1/4's worth of the measure. Now you've already heard me say a couple of times in this video that the rhythms in Sandstorm are based off 16th notes. What the heck does that mean? Well, a 16th note is created when we take a quarter note and break it down into 4 beats of its own, so that an entire measure of 16th notes would have literally 16 notes in the measure. And because tempo typically remains the same throughout the entirety of a song, we have more notes to smash out in the same space or measure. That's why 16th notes feel really fast and can be hard to play. 16th notes are subdivided and counted as follows. 1E and 2E and 3E and 4E and where the snaps are quarter notes and I'm vocalizing 16th notes. Now, who named this stuff? The E and I have no clue, but this is what it is, so just roll with me. See, that wasn't so bad, was it? The more you know. Okay, so with that out of the way, let's break down the main rhythm of Sandstorm. So you'll see it repeated several times on the screen and in different note placements, which Beatstar is trying to represent at different tones in the synth line. The rhythm goes like this. 1E and a 2 and a 3E and a 4 and a. One more time, that's 1E and a 2, and a 3E and a 4, and a. Stringing several of those rhythms together with the changes in pitch at tempo gives us Sandstorm. 1E and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1E and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1E and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1E and a 2 and a 3 and a 4. So here's how we're going to slow that down and practice it together. Whenever I practice drumming or music in general, I always use a metronome. Now this is a free one that I've got on my phone from Soundbrenner. There are plenty out there, or even websites that you can use. They all work the same. Mechanically speaking, just tap on the side of your phone like I'm doing, or on a table, or on your keyboard, wherever you happen to be listening to this video and performing these exercises. The big thing is to always start with your left thumb, because that's how the Beatstar chart is laid out. We're going to practice this rhythm at 3 varying tempos, starting slow and increasing up to the speed of the song. These tempos are 80 beats per minute, 115 beats per minute, and the tempo of Sandstorm at 136 beats per minute accordingly. Here is the first exercise at 80 beats per minute. 1, 2, ready, play. One, two, ready, play. Nicely done. Now we're going to bump up the tempo to 115 beats per minute. If you feel like you wavered and you aren't quite ready to speed up, feel free to rewind the video and practice again at 80 BPM. 1, 2, ready, go. One, two, ready, go. And the last exercise is up to speed at 136 beats per minute. 1, 2, ready, go. One, two, ready, go. Hey, nice work, really well done. If you want to keep practicing, you can rewind the video at any of the 3 tempos to continue to build up your skill. But I'm going to flip back to the Beatstar chart, which again is at that final 136 beats per minute, and for the most part, let the song play through. What I want you to do to finish out the rest of the tutorial is continue tapping along on the side of your phone to practice that rhythm. Quick little pit stop here in stage 3 just to point out that the rhythm is ever so slightly different. Now it should sound obvious when you're listening to the song, but some of the 16th notes in the synth are replaced with 8th notes. And if you've been practicing up to this point on the previous rhythm, you'll have no problem in this section. I just want to point out that it helps to understand the charting so you don't get caught going into autopilot mode and mess up your score. And this is the last stop I'll make before finishing out the song, because this little passage of 1E and, 2E and, etc. repeated 8 times with the swipe in the right lane can be pretty tough in Thumbstyle. So my big pro tip for this little section is to always start with a natural right-left, swipe with the right, but remember, swipe notes can be a little off time and not be penalized from a perfect plus scoring standpoint. So you can swipe a little early if it helps you get back in time for the first section of those notes. finishing out stage 4 and 5, it's pretty straightforward and goes right back into that rhythm that we've practiced before. So use this opportunity to practice along. Alright, that's going to do it for this tutorial of Sandstorm. What did you think of these tips and tricks, and what did you think about the practice methodology? Leave me a comment down below, and if you found the content helpful, please consider dropping a like and giving the channel a subscription. I really appreciate it. Thanks again. We'll see you next time.